Welcome to iHeart Geek.
And welcome to iHeart Geek.
Where am I? Where am I? Who is this?
Okay, so I'm not sure because Zoom sucks now, so I'm still trying to figure out the settings now. But on this screen, you are below me. You're the only one on the bottom, and that is Chris that is complaining. So look up, say hi, Chris. Say hi, Chris.
Hi.
Hi. So we got Chris and we got Kevin, and that means one thing. It is time for our quarterly wrestling episode. Wrestling's a good thing. Okay, so let me get this out of the way real quick. If you're not into wrestling, that's okay. We are doing a whole smorgasbord of geek stuff as we always do. If you don't like this, give it a little sample. Go on to the next thing. It's all good because we're iHeart Geek and we want to be like the one-stop shopping for all things geek. Yeah, with that being said, I have a question to start out, and I want to get your guys' true, direct answer to this. We'll start with Kevin. Is wrestling cool again?
Wrestling has been cool ever since AEW started. And now that AEW's gone down and WWE's going up, now the cool level is even skyrocketed more.
I'm going to disagree with you, but I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, Chris, what about you?
You know what? I actually agree with Kevin, and here's why. For the longest time, it was WWE doing the same stuff over and over and over again. There was no alternative to watch, really.
And no one is debating that.
Then AEW comes and they kind of disrupt everything and do all this cool stuff. And then WWE being WWE, it took them, a couple of
4 years,
a year or two,
and AEW committing Harikuri,
yeah, and a certain lawsuit involving a certain Vince McMahon to switch the balance
up a little bit.
Yeah, but
now
wrestling's always been cool. It's always been cool, but it's cool again right now.
Okay, I agree with you. Yes, right now I think it's the coolest it's been since the Attitude Era. I really do. Now, with that being said, I don't agree with the timeline on it. I think AEW was cool. I think the All or Nothing was awesome. And then, honestly, if you weren't a wrestling fan, you didn't give a crap anymore, which means it's not cool. Wrestling now is cool, and everybody, whether a fan or not, is showing up and they want to party.
Well, it's just because you have the World Wrestling Entertainment, one of the most biggest multi-conglomerate companies in the world, is actually doing it right now.
And if they're not doing it right, nobody cares.
The reach is phenomenal. So,
yeah. Go ahead.
We are going to talk about WrestleMania. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, good.
That's part of what made it so cool.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I think that, yes, I have all the respect in the world for AEW. I do. I went to one of their live events and sat in the quarter-empty arena, and it was fantastic. I had a blast with it. Yes, you were right next to me.
Yeah.
We actually did a show after that. So, but I don't think it has the mass appeal. I wish it did. It should, but it doesn't. And I do have an idea on how to fix that, and we'll talk about that later. So let's talk about the kind of thing that I think set it over the top of the cool factor, and that is WrestleMania 40. Why was WrestleMania 40? Okay, this is we have an inside joke. We always say that WWF is Chris's ex-girlfriend that he always thinks about getting back with. He's back. They're back together again.
We're back.
They're living together again. They're definitely living together again.
After 12 years of being apart, I'm kind of back on the WWE train.
So
I don't know
especially with WrestleMania and the build up to it, what made it so
I think just how it started with CM Punk getting fired from AEW. That was the start for me. Because
and Kevin's in pain.
This isn't a bad. This is. Listen. I think we're going to talk about that, but it's not. It's not because I jumped back when that happened. I jumped back because WWE did something really special with this storyline, with the bloodline, and the freaking Rock. Like I love The Rock. I absolutely love him. I got to see him wrestle at the last 2 WrestleManias before this one.
Did you smell it?
I did. I smelled what The Rock was cooking in the Jersey swamp.
I set you up for that. There you go.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
But it's at that moment, that All Out London or All in London, where the pendulum started to swing back to WWE, because they started to build momentum with their storylines, because AEW took a nosedive with all of the drama. And AEW has a lot of talent. They have a lot of potential, and the three of us have discussed ways to fix it. And what it comes down to is, it's just, I remember, like, I don't know what the storyline did. I don't know if it's because last year at WrestleMania 39, I was just like so mad at Roman Reigns winning that I was just like, I'm never watching WWE again.
And how much better did that make the moment?
It made it so good.
Be fair. Sometimes you gotta trust. Sometimes you do.
Oh, shut up, Doug. They had no plan to put Cody on. Come on.
Bull.
Vince McMahon was still in charge.
Okay.
Vince McMahon.
You can think that all you want.
No. Seriously, that with the leadership change, with Triple H running things, he saved the company.
Mm-hmm.
He saved the company instantly, and the man knows what he's doing, because he walked the walk for like 30 years, and now he's he has booked some of the best wrestling in the last 5 years.
But
period.
I think we have to go back on that, and we'll talk about it in a second. But with him booking NXT the way it was booked is what changed. Honestly, if that didn't happen, there would have been no AEW.
I disagree completely.
Okay, you can disagree all you want, but I think that was some of the best booking we've seen.
AEW,
and that's what got. Hold on, and that's what got, I think, Triple H in the limelight. Said, "Oh wow, this guy can freaking book," and then he gave it to Shawn Michaels, and like, he sucks. So, okay, so go ahead, Kevin. I'm not.
Oh well, I mean, what are we talking about here? About why it became cool?
Yeah.
Why is it cool again?
Basically.
Yeah. I think Chris hit the nail on the head. Is when AEW nosedived, WWE began to skyrocket. You have Triple H, and listen, AEW nosedived. I was watching the Young Bucks and Cody and Omega. I was watching since episode 36 of Being the Elite, before everybody knew about Being the Elite. And there was a storyline of like Matt Jackson's wife leaving him, and he had a blanket. Like, it was these really goofy things. Episode 36, and then I watched this thing bloom and go to AEW and big arenas. All of a sudden, they got CM Punk, and it's like, oh my god, this thing can't go wrong. This is the next conglomerate. Oh my god! And then CM Punk became CM Punk again.
Come on,
Young Bucks became Kevin Nash and Scott Hall.
Yes,
we got. I mean, it's all hell's broke loose. And then right around that time, that whole thing at Wembley Stadium happens. Vince McMahon goes away. Triple H comes back. It's the perfect storm of, hey, we're basically going to, you guys were doing a lot of cool stuff, but now I'm in charge. I'm going to bring NXT-style wrestling, NXT-style storylines to the main front and use the money that has WWE. And the fact they brought The Rock in, not just as somebody that is, hey guys, I'm going to play a song now because I'm The Rock and you guys just pay to see me. No, it was The Rock coming in like, hey, you remember me? I can be a really good bad guy. And then he was a really, really good bad guy.
I would even say that this was the best work of The Rock's wrestling career. Dude. Like ever. He got so much heat. And then he knew it. He knew he was getting the heat, and he would just smile as he was getting booed and cheered. And what sealed the deal was the beat down he gave to Cody in Chicago. That was just
blood brought back to WWE. It was Cody that brought it back.
There was blood before, but neither here nor there.
No, not
you don't
like
watch
this.
The product.
Last year's, no blading, no. And let me tell you something. You know what's so cool about The Rock with this go around is he's a mature Rock. Like he's an older, like he knows now. Like he's an older man. He knows what does what, and he's just so confident in doing it. And it's just chef's kiss, everything he was doing.
He's so effing jacked. He's so effing jacked at 51 years old.
Dude, him and AJ Styles, I think, share a needle. Jeez.
Vitamins and prayers, boys.
No,
Vitamins.
It's not. It's roids.
What you gonna do?
It's roids and testosterone. That's all it is. It is testosterone replacement therapy. That's what's going on. They're putting embryos into these muscles right here. That's
to think. Last year, Austin Theory was getting a massive push. And he went away. Thank God he went away, because now we had what we witnessed like 10 days ago or however many days ago it was.
So I do want to talk about that and what led to that. But first, I want to put in my 2 cents on the AEW. I don't think it was the Wembley thing. I don't think it was CM Punk at all. Really? I think it was a million little things. I think that Tony Khan picked up a book and said, The Death of WCW, and went through it page by page and said, I'm going to do this, and 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 then I start going, this and this and this and this. He did everything WCW did wrong. Everything. He overamped his roster big time. He didn't know how to use people. He made the wrestlers the earpiece with him. He did everything wrong. And it makes me sad because there was so much potential. Now, and I do want to say this real quick, and I'll let you jump on. Any of you idiots that say, I wish AEW would go out of business, are retarded.
Yes.
You are mentally deficient. You need... The only thing that makes wrestling good is when there's competition. I don't want them to go out of business. I have ideas, and I'd like them to scale back, but I don't want them to go out of business. Because if you think that, you have no business watching wrestling, because it's cool. Sorry. Okay, sorry. What were you going to say, Chris?
I was just going to say,
that's a heck of a promo.
I still feel like AEW has hope. That's the weird thing.
I do too.
I think with AEW's problems, Tony Khan listened to the wrong people, and he listened to the internet. Because when you have people like Jericho and Cody and all these other veterans of the business trying to guide the company, like there was a distinct difference between the AEW from 2019 to about, I don't know, the end of the pandemic, and then everything else we got. Mm-hmm. Like I could sense something was wrong when Dub and I went to Double or Nothing last year, because
it apart piece at a time.
We did. It just felt like for their biggest show, it was a dud.
It felt like a house show. It felt like a house show.
But
Chris Jericho versus Jeff Jarrett, really?
It was bad. I agree now that Tony Khan has way too many. He has a WWE problem.
Mm-hmm.
Too many people and too much, television that's no one's watching.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't know how to make a heel and a face. Everybody's a tweener.
Well, that's
a big problem.
I'll wait till the fixing AEW part, but I still think there's hope for AEW, because I do check in on AEW, and some of the storylines they're doing with Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe are amazing.
Strickland is a genius. I want to see more of him.
I was 100% unequivocally. I know we've all had this conversation. I was 100% unequivocally wrong about Swerve Strickland. That dude is a star. That 100%. When he first got into AEW, he's like, "Who's house first house?" I was like, I don't really like it, But that he's a star. He's awesome.
Yeah. Is this the Nana dance? Is this the Prince Nana dance? I'm in Swerve's house.
Again, I've been watching him since CZW's. I watched him on a bunch of CCW tapes, and I'm like, this guy is freaking amazing. Yeah, and then he went to NXT, and he blew up, and then he went to the main roster, and McMahon said, we're going to make you the third guy in this group of rappers. Okay.
Oh, B-Fab was terrible.
She's still there.
She is?
Can we all just say a big shout out to thank God Vince McMahon's not part of WWE anymore?
Let's hit that. Okay. I have mixed feelings on this. I'm happy that he's gone. I wish, honestly, and even I'm glad he's gone because of what he did. I'm glad he's gone because of the way he booked. He's gotten old. Mm-hmm. I wish to God I didn't know why he was gone. I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, in this day and age where, we're going to hold him accountable. I don't care. I don't want to know. I would rather he just retired quietly. Triple H took over. Cool. Because I don't want to know all that garbage.
If he would have left,
everybody's getting accused on this stuff now, and a lot of people don't deserve it too, by the way.
If he would have left 3 years ago, his reputation, even though he was still a horrible person, his reputation would not have been slandered in such a way in public, you know. And it's due to be slandered because some of the stuff he was doing. But if he would have just left, it kind of would have been swept under the rug, and you know what I mean. And his legacy would have stayed intact.
If Vince McMahon retired, he would have come back like he did. Vince McMahon would have been at WWE until he dropped dead.
Yes.
I think the merger with UFC was a, you know, we all questioned that move at first, or at least I did, but now we can start to see the benefits in terms of production. Like it's simple. They focus on the wrestling. Like they're making the Titantron smaller. It's just the focus is on the wrestlers, which is great.
We're back to WWF.
Yes.
And they're one shots. They're one shots where they're following I love that. With the camera. We're getting rid
Kevin
of
Dunn
all
being
the
gone.
Cuts. No, now it's just one seamless shot. You're going.
That they've had the same guy doing that for 40 years. Yeah, and that was like, that's my signature.
Kevin Dunn's teeth were so large that one tooth was on one feed and the other tooth was on the other feed. And like, just, it's the stuff that Vince McMahon did is damning enough. And there's no place for any of that in this world, or just, you know, it doesn't matter what era it is. The stuff he is accused of and most definitely did is wrong.
I'm not going to say everything because there's a couple things that I don't think, but I mean, that's neither. He did enough bad that I don't care.
But it's like,
however,
it's like
with the whirlwind that got caught. Oh, go ahead, Chris, and then I want to hit
I was going to say, no, it's fine. We all kind of knew Vince McMahon wasn't the nicest character in the box. So it's like
he was Mr. McMahon.
Yeah, it's like I wasn't shocked at what he did, but I was shocked at the severity of like it was just, you know, not to bring the mood down. It was just very he did a horrible thing. And you know, either way, he would have had to leave WWE. But I think we're reaping the rewards of it now because.
Yeah. Now, a couple people got caught in the wake that I don't think deserved it. Mm-hmm. One of them being, and this one just came out, is Drew Gulak, who...
Oh, really?
Point A and point B, him and Rousey, they both said one thing and the other said the other. There was no corroborating evidence either way. And because Rousey's loud, he got fired. I don't know what happened.
Wait, he got fired?
Well, he's off TV. He's taken off everything.
I didn't know that.
All having to do with a sweatpants drawstring.
He grabbed her drawstring on her sweatpants and said, "Hi there," like he was shaking it, like, "Hey, how you doing?"
That was her side of it, and his side was I went to shake her hand and hit her, and he apologized. Mm-hmm. No one has said one way or the other, and because they're going to be oversensitive with the McMahon stuff. Let's be honest, Rousey has blamed everybody for everything, and the ice is a little thin, to be fair. Because, let's be honest, Rousey, if anybody was to do that to her, she'd break their arm. Right there on the spot.
Yeah.
There's not a question about that. So I have a little trouble on all that. Now, the other one that bothers me, honestly, and you guys can disagree, and that is Brock Lesnar. And he is still employed with the company. We don't know that he did anything that was unasked for, whatever. And I don't want to dig too much because we're family friendly. But I don't see the evidence that a lot of that just seems very much.
Well, the thing with Brock Lesnar is he's mentioned, but he's not being sued. He's mentioned and he's not. And so Triple H was asked.
He sold his company, yeah.
Anthony, he's still with the company. He's doing what Brock Lesnar does. He's in the woods shooting deer. You know what I mean? That's what he said, killing things. So yeah, he's still with the company. I think he's like, hey, why don't you just go away for a while? Let this die down, get your name out, and then come back. And he's Brock Lesnar's be one of those guys. He's you realize it's been like 20 years since he tapped. Anyway, I saw a meme about that the other day. He's like never tapped or something.
Really?
Yeah, I got to check on that, but I saw that. I was wanting to check, but I think it's best for him to go away for a while anyway.
I agree with Kevin that,
I don't disagree with you guys on that, but I just don't like that he got pulled down with it.
Well, he's not to get too involved, but he's he's named by name in the
There's
thing.
A lot of people named by names that had nothing to do with it.
So I think it's more of a, like what Kevin said. They told Brock Lesnar, "Hey, listen, go away. Let's make sure that there's nothing else that we would surprise us." So, Brock Lesnar, they did a lot to not mention Brock Lesnar at all ever since this second lawsuit came out. Yeah. But Paul Heyman, though, at his Hall of Fame speech mentioned him 7,000 times, and that speech was awesome.
Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame speech, one of the best Hall of Fame speeches of not all time, if not the best.
Can we hit that for a second? The Hall of Fame?
Oh, my God.
Okay, first off, yes, I agree. I don't think anyone has ever done a better Hall of Fame speech than Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is wrestling. With that being said, the Hall of Fame means nothing until they build an actual building, because it's always just been in Vince McMahon's brain.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who cares? Hey, they got a ring. And where can you go see all these matches?
I would love for them to have a building. That would be really cool.
Now, and I think, New York, Connecticut, somewhere, and just like a Cooperstown type.
It'll be in Florida.
And I'm okay with that.
Where they do NXT.
That would be awesome.
Probably would be, honestly.
Yeah. Now, the only thing that's turning me off with the Hall of Fame, and this happened last year and it happened this year, I think that there is a respect that goes with the Hall of Fame. I think if you're there, you've earned it, mostly. There's a couple people, but you've earned it. I don't like when they add in current storylines to the Hall of Fame. We talked about this, like The Rock receiving for his mom or his grandmother, and I'm like, come on, guys. And he received the belt and blah, blah. And then the year before, they had Rey Mysterio and Dominic stands up in storyline mode and leaves. I'm like,
see, but that worked.
But he's active wrestler. He shouldn't have been up there.
The stuff with Dominic Mysterio walking out and his dad is what gave him this nuclear heat every time.
He's so good. So good.
I agree that they shouldn't meld storyline in unless it works.
I agree with Chris here. Is like, it's okay if it works, and it worked the Rey Mysterio thing. It definitely did not work for The Rock, and when it doesn't work, it just feels so out of place, and it doesn't feel right.
It feels dirty.
Yeah,
if that, for lack of a better word. So with that, they also did have Mike Rotundo and Barry Windham. They received the U.S. whatever they were, and they had
U.S. Express.
And honestly, Rotundo should not be anywhere near a mic. He's just broken. He is destroyed right now because of Bray, and that's completely understandable. Now, how do you guys feel about their rebuilding the whole Wyatt family? And they're bringing back Eric Rowan, they're bringing back Liv, they're bringing back everybody that's part of it, and his brother is going to play the part. How do you guys feel about that? Or is that like spitting on a grave? I'm so torn on it because I want to see it so bad.
So his brother, I forgot his name now.
Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas. He's not Bo Dallas anymore,
Dallas was Uncle Howdy. And that was the whole thing, is
that's what was supposed to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to happen. I don't necessarily care for it. I don't care for it. It's Bray Wyatt. First of all, Bray Wyatt, one of my big wrestling regrets, if you will,
not seeing him,
is that Triple H wasn't running it when Bray Wyatt was Bray Wyatt. He would have been the next Undertaker. he should have beat the Undertaker. Undertaker was in. I was listening to Tony Hinchcliffe and Undertaker having a conversation the other day on a podcast, and that's what Undertaker said, because it was the year after Brock Lesnar won. He says, it would have been great if Bray Wyatt would have won. They could have done so much more with that. So that's sad. I don't necessarily care for him coming back as that.
I'll give it a chance. I don't think it's going to have the same.
No, it can't.
It's not going to have the same energy that Bray Wyatt brought to the table. But I would like to be proven wrong now that I've freshly gotten back together with the World Wrestling Federation. I would like to see what happens, but I'm just afraid it's going to become a House of Black thing where we were really excited for the House of Black in AEW, and now what do? They do nothing. I don't care.
Now, so I mean, this is a little bit of. I think it could be great because I think that Bo has it. I think that once he steps out of his brother's shadow, he's got it. I think he really does, and I think if they put the right people around him, I'm kind of excited for it. I don't.
Bo Dallas was a 2-time NXT champion.
Oh, yeah.
So he has the ability to carry.
And he's been a tag team champ 3 times. Yeah. And he's got a great build. He's got kind of the look now. He kind of grew into his look. So that helps. Again, I just don't know if he's ready because he's still crying constantly. If you watch the Bray Wyatt documentary, he's broken. It hurts.
It hasn't even been a year.
It hurts to watch a little bit. But I tell you what, that last scene was amazing. No, and I would like to see, that's one thing that, because I know there was plans to make, help me out here, House of Black, what's his name? Aleister Black, part of the Wyatt family. There was always that plan. And then he left. And then that's why he wanted to come back. I don't know if you guys remembered he was trying to get his release, and Tony wouldn't give it to him because he wanted to be part of the Wyatt family. Now, if they could bring him back as part of that, it's on. Because Aleister Black needs that. I don't know what his name is in AEW. What is his name?
Malachi Black.
Malachi. Yeah, Aleister sounds cooler. Let's be complete. Malachi sounds like the weird, what was it? Justin
Mordecai?
Rhodes gimmick. Yes.
There's this other wrestler from the early 2000s that was Mordecai, who was supposed to be like a vampire Undertaker ripoff,
yes.
And he
lasted like
more.
There was more.
Like 2 minutes.
It was weird. Yeah. Anyway, so I did want to hit the Wyatt thing. I think that just for the pop value, I think it's going to be really good for about 2 months, and then we'll see. It doesn't have to do anything for about 2 months. It's going to they show up. That's all you really need for about 2 months. Because that's what a Bray Wyatt thing did. It just, we're just going to give you a second. Just going to give you a second. And that was enough for people. Okay, let's talk the latest, and I know we're split in this panel. The latest CM Punk pipe bomb, which he told the truth. And all of AEW is a bunch of liars. And CM Punk is the better person. CM Punk is not the cancer in AEW. You can't deny it. You've seen the footage. He is not the cancer. The Bucks are. Even Omega will say that CM Punk was not the cancer.
Didn't call the Bucks cancer. And Omega didn't call the Bucks cancer. Yeah, you're doing that. Omega didn't do that.
No, he did not. I am calling him cancer.
Okay.
There's a reason why they haven't made it anywhere else. And I know that's your favorite team.
Everywhere where they've been.
I know that's your favorite team, and they are so boring to me. I like watching them wrestle, but they're boring every other time. I don't like their thing. I've tried so hard. Anyway,
of the Elite, I think Kenny Omega would be the best fit in a WWE type system.
Oh God, 100%. Yes.
100%. Kenny Omega, he doesn't have to wrestle another match in his life. He's already one of the best wrestlers who's ever done it. In terms of the Young Bucks, I liked the Young Bucks. That's what when I stopped watching WWE and started watching New Japan and the Indies, I was like, oh, the Young Bucks are really good. Yep. And just the more and more that comes out about this story about Brawl In and then the London thing, the more and more I really, every time they come out on TV, I'm just like, go away. You had your chance. It's just like there's the goodwill is gone. But it's just so amazing to see that it doesn't matter what company Philip CM Punk Brooks is in. He's a massive draw. Even with a busted arm at WrestleMania, he had
a bigger pop than The Rock. Well, close anyway.
At night one, at least.
Yeah.
But like, so maybe CM Punk was right. I mean, he definitely was about the London thing with Jack Perry, who is a moron.
But that was so honest. It was so beyond honest that I'm like, I can't believe anything they say. And I think that I've always believed Punk is a BS artist. He's a whiny. He's whiny. The world owes him something. Cool. Wow. And that's who he is. But with this, I'm like, I can't. You're right, Phil. I will follow you to the ends of the earth, dude. You are telling me.
I listened to that entire hour podcast that he did on the MMA Hour, and just everything he was saying was just oddly refreshing, because what really shocked me about that interview is when he asked for his release after the initial brawl between him and the Elite. Like that took me by surprise, because it's like CM Punk was AEW.
Yeah.
And would you agree with me, Kevin, that once CM Punk left,
something in AEW left. See, we had Cody. Cody was the heart of AEW, and then when Cody left, we're like, "What the heck's going on?" There was something missing. And then when CM Punk came back, Then when CM Punk came back, it was like, "Oh my God!" Like they're going to do
something.
Like,
yeah,
they were hitting like $1 million a week at that time. 1.1, 1.2.
Just not in the stadium. Yeah.
What's that? No, they were doing the stadium.
No, they were having full stadiums.
I know
what you're trying to do. They were having selling us all the time. And then
not anymore.
when that brawl out happened, all I was thinking is like, okay, it's pro wrestling. Pro wrestlers fight. Pro wrestlers also have like Matt Hardy and Edge, in Lita's situation where they're still going to put him in the ring and they have to work because you got to make money. And I can see CM Punk saying, okay, listen, guys, hot tempers, my temper, your temper, let's go make some money. And then all of a sudden now I can see this other side of like, no, screw that guy. I don't want anything to do with him. He's this and that. And it's like, that's not pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is put them together, make money. Business.
Like the whole John Cena and The Rock, the build up for WrestleMania 28 and a little bit of 29, they hated each other.
Yeah.
But then
legitimately,
as they worked together, they became friends.
Yes.
And they made a crap ton of money.
Yes.
So like, was CM Punk part of AEW's, decline? Maybe, but he was also their biggest draw. And when you lose your biggest draw and you have no one
again and again,
to replace, like you lost Cody, who is now the guy in WWE. You lost CM Punk, who was the guy in AEW for all intents and purposes. Like I would argue that Jon Moxley is who's the best
AEW.
But isn't he in New Japan all the time
he's the New Japan Pro IGW. He's their champ. But like, who do you have? Because we don't know if MJF's coming back. I hope he does. Like, I've said it to you.
And he's a fantastic heel, by the way.
If AEW loses MJF, they're going to go the route. They're going to go the route of Impact Wrestling and beyond, like Pluto TV.
And I might be okay with that. And I'll tell you, we'll talk about it in a minute.
But that would be bad. That would be bad. We need AEW. We need AEW. And, I have hope for AEW still, even though they're borderline.
Now here is where Tony Khan is dumb. Okay. So, and this is what I'm like, where's your brain on this? Okay. So he acquired Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor has so much history and people would follow it like ECW. They really would. So let's, instead of, hey, Punk, okay, so we want to separate you, give you your own show. Instead of, hey, you know what? You're going to lead Ring of Honor now. You're going to go back to where you started, and you are going to make this blow up, which I think Punk, that would have sparked something. No, we're going to give you a new show that we're going to have a .002 rating.
Who thought that was a good idea? Nobody thought Collision was a good idea.
Tony
Khan thought it
Tony
was.
Khan.
The only person, like, seriously, it's like, oh my God, you guys can't Friday night. You can't even do Friday night. Now you're doing Saturday as well. Bischoff said one of the downfalls of WCW was the fact they started SmackDown, or not SmackDown,
Thunder.
WCW Thunder. He says one of the downfalls, because now all of a sudden I didn't have 3 hours, I had 5 hours to book. And he goes, that was the hardest thing. Week. I'm already having a hard time with 3 hours. And so now all of a sudden, instead of 2 hours, now you have 4 hours. Well, actually, no, instead of 3 hours, you have 6 hours.
Plus,
and it's like,
what, every 2 months you have a pay-per-view.
You screwed yourself. Yeah.
So, and I floated this to you guys when we were talking before, but I'm going to float this out on the show. What I would like to see happen with AEW is pull the plug on everything that isn't the main show. Scan way back. You are not in bingo halls, but you're in civic auditoriums. And then do your Dynamite show, do your like, hardcore wrestling. Tony's not a good booker. Until he finds a booker, don't. Just guy A fights guy B. Then have your 4 times a year pay-per-view that is like an all-in, where you bring in New Japan, you bring in all the indie guys. To me, that is really the only thing left they can do.
I agree with aspects of it, and I think we're just gonna talk about how we can fix AEW right now, since we're talking about how to fix AEW.
We're in, baby.
I agree 1,000% that AEW has too much programming, because when they added Rampage, I'm like, oh, okay, 3 hours. 3 hours is like the limit.
And most people don't have cable anymore, guys.
Yeah, I'm one of them. And now they have 5 hours of AEW with Collision, plus another hour of Ring of Honor that's on Honor Club. It's just like, you have to get rid of Rampage. You have to get rid of Collision. Make Ring of Honor the 3rd hour of programming. And then that way you have your main guys on Dynamite, and then you have Ring of Honor as the NXT. And they just, I think we were talking about who would you keep, who would you move over, I think we did a fantasy draft, and we, the 3 of us collectively, we save the company, but we don't have the capital to buy Ring of Honor or AEW
and that would be a bad investment. Let's be fair. Impact might be the better investment at this point.
Oh, the little engine that could, freaking thing ain't ever going away. Impact.
Bravo to them.
I know.
Still being here for 20 plus years.
You know what? And they did exactly kind of what Doug Summit. They've downsized, and now they're building up again. And you look at, and I still have hope for AEW, and not to use WCW as let's use wrestling history. WCW is WCCW, and then it turned into WCW, and then it wasn't really good. In the early 90s, they were really having a bad time. They were part of RoboCop. Yeah, they were making money, but they were just not doing that good. And then WWF started doing better. Remember, WWF wasn't really doing good either. But then when WCW started going up, WWF was almost bankrupt. Then they started going up. WCW went down. And you have these ebbs and flows of pro wrestling. And my hope is that they're taking all this, they're learning from it, and they're going to correct their mistakes. But there has to be some corrections now, because what they're doing is not working.
When my biggest concern with AEW is they have been recently going into smaller houses, but when you can only fill 2, 3, 4,000 seats of an 8,000 seat arena, that's
bad.
A problem. Like, they were going to do Forbidden Door at Arthur Ashe Stadium this summer, and New Japan was like, we're not paying for half of a building to be empty. And now they're doing it in Long Island, which I'm not doing that. But like that was a big red flag.
Don't want no iced tea?
No, because
Bad joke.
you know I'm getting full gear apparently if the company's still around in November.
Good luck.
In Jersey. Thank you. But like that's a huge like I don't get, like, they went to Quebec to the 16,500 seat arena that should be the home of the new Quebec Nordique / Arizona, Utah Coyotes, whatever. Oh wait, this isn't a hockey channel.
Leave it. Leave it. I'm pissed. Leave it. I'm not a happy camper. Leave it.
My point is, AEW went to one of the hottest wrestling towns in the world, and they could only fill up 4,000 seats in a 16,500 seat arena. Like, their attendance issues are linked to their product issues. That's the core of it.
Well,
I don't know how you feel about this, Kevin.
Did you guys see the Kevin or the Tony Khan begging people to stay for Ring of Honor? The video that just came out. Oh, no. It's embarrassing. The show had ended. He is riffing for like 10 minutes trying to beg people to stay for Ring of Honor. Guys, we just got some great wrestling, and we'd love it if you'd stay. And hey, who's going to make the drive to... I'm like, dude, this looks bad. Do a musical act. Do a comedy. Have 2 wrestlers do a all-around the arena thing. Do something. Oh, so bad. I apologize. But Kevin, yeah.
How would you fix AEW?
Me?
Yes. Yeah. How would you fix it?
Fix it. Fix it now.
Fix it, Kevin.
Fix it.
Yeah, I think it starts behind the scenes. They need some better management. Yeah. Leadership. It all starts with management and leadership. And you have to get, a booker, whether it's somebody from New Japan, where's Gato, or something like that, is to come over there and then you listen. The wrestlers can't be booking themselves anymore. The one thing that Cody Rhodes said that really, really stuck with me. He said he left and he's never going back to vice president position again. And while he's wrestling, because he can't do both, because he can't separate himself from the pro wrestling. He can't separate himself from the pro wrestling and actual wrestling. And that's what needs to happen. There has to be a separation. Yeah. So like if it's Jericho, right? Jericho can't be wrestling anymore. Because I think Jericho is a great wrestling mind, but he can't do it while he's wrestling.
And he's lost the spark in wrestling. He is. I love Jericho. I want to see one last match. I'm just, and I've been watching him literally since he was a rookie, as a cruiserweight.
That's where it has to be. It has to start behind the scenes, and really is to be consistent. Stop with the poking. Stop with the. Like, what the hell? You guys did the all-in footage, really? Like, and everybody knew what it was, and everybody knew it's like, well, this better be.
It was the finger poke of doom.
Oh my god! Like that everything wrong with AEW right now is that.
It's just like the whole like to do a response to someone who doesn't even work for your company. That's just so petty. It's like they didn't have and right, like not even an hour of it being online, Tony Khan pulled the video of the footage because he realized how stupid of an idea it was.
And started throwing copyright on anybody that put it up.
Yeah.
Dude, you suck.
It's on Reddit. It's somewhere on Reddit.
Again, I just want to watch the footage again with the Benny Hill music behind it.
We know what that boils down to. It boils down to, like what Dub alluded to. It's whether it's Adderall or I think it's actually Adderall, not
it's Coke.
Not anything. No, I really think it's Adderall. But and the reason why I say is because some of the decisions are, and it happens with Coke too. But some of the decisions are like very spur of the moment, and it's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, we're going to put this. And then all of a sudden he puts the graphic up and then everybody's like, wait a second, we didn't talk about this. And I was like, well, now he's already said it. So now he has to. All right, we just got to figure it out. And it's those kind of decisions, those like, oh, I feel this. We got to do this. Oh, wait, what the hell are you doing? There's a lot of those decisions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it needs to be more measured.
Speaking of Coke, I tried snorting Coke once, but an ice cube got in the way.
Yep, I knew you were going to go there. I like sweet and low. It's like Diet Coke.
I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs. I just drink a lot of coffee. No drugs.
I plead the fifth.
So let me say that. Okay, so we've talked about the company itself. Now, here's the other big problem, and I think you can take almost any geekdom, and let's say Marvel and DC, for example. The tribalism is ridiculous, and with AEW, we have people that cannot admit that they're seeing anything wrong on their TV. There are people that on WWE that can't admit that there's great wrestling other places. It's the tribalism kills me, and as a fan, how do you fix it? And I'm being dead serious. This is like my biggest with the geek world in general, but let's hit wrestling. I hate going online because these people are ridiculous.
It's not just wrestling that this happens in. It happens in every facet of life nowadays.
And we did hit that, but I want to hit.
It's wrestling right now is the hottest it's been since AEW's inception. Like we're experiencing a renaissance of WWE, and we're all being reminded of when WWE is firing on all cylinders. They are the best wrestling promotion in the world. Full stop. Yep. That is it. It's
and you're not going to beat them.
No, but see, I love pro wrestling. It doesn't matter what team I'm on. I mean, for 12 years, I was not into WWE. Like after WrestleMania 30, I was done with WWE because it was the same thing with John Cena and Roman Reigns. It got stale. I wanted something else. And then we got AEW, which I was like, yes, this is what I want. I want to see people actually wrestle and not do a soap opera for 3 hours on Raw, which is way too long for one show. I hope they go back to 2 hours when they go to Netflix. But it's just I am of the thought that it's wrestling. This is what makes me happy as a person. And I'm sure, with us, we don't care. We want AEW to succeed. We want all the indies to succeed. We want WWE to succeed. So I guess to fix tribalism is to just drag people who are like pro WWE or pro AEW to the opposite show and be like, this is also pro wrestling and you should go to a bingo hall brawl sometime too, because those bingo hall shows, those are some of they're so good.
But the problem with what you're talking about, like even in this group here, y'all thought I was like super anti AEW, and I'm like, no, I just see the problem. And for a while, you guys were not wanting to listen to me on that.
Oh, you were wrong.
That's fair. No, I wasn't. I was absolutely not wrong at all. And now
just
you
like
see my point.
Like WWE is the best, and I'm like, yeah.
So listen, we're passionate about
and
what
you should be.
It's like that's why we're passionate and we want it to succeed because we care, because we're geeks. We are geeks about this, and I don't understand. Like it's the geeks. No. It's the fans who are WWE is the best. I can't watch AEW because I want the people who say one company should go out of business because they're not doing well right now. They're not real fans. They're not real fans. They're not real fans.
Yeah, they don't know any history at all.
It's like the people who are saying the Arizona Coyotes should not have moved out of Arizona. It's like
yes, they should have, but that's another story. We'll talk about it all later on the hockey podcast. No, no. So much anger. No, so much anger. Utah something.
I flubbed what I want, the joke I wanted to make, but you got the point. It's just like, I like what I like.
Yeah.
And people should be allowed to like what they like. And they shouldn't say, if you're a WWE fan, I'm not going to talk. It's like, it's gotten to that point where it's like, oh, you don't know what you're doing, you stupid Mark. It's like, let me just watch wrestling. Just watch wrestling.
Go to Facebook and go to any wrestling thing. And it's the same thing. God, smart move. It's these people are just like zealots, religious zealots for their.
Here's how you fix that. You ready?
How do you fix it, Kevin?
Turn off the internet.
You just don't look at the comments. I mean, seriously. So I look at the headlines. Look at all the headlines on Twitter. I use X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. You look at all the headlines.
I like Twix.
Yeah, Twix. All right, you learn Twix, and you only look at headlines. You never click on them and see, because as soon as you click on them and see, all of a sudden you're like, oh God, I just feel horrible because the thing that I like,
Okay. And so with that being said, yeah, go to our show, put a comment under this on if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, whatever you're watching it on, give us a little comment, hit a like, and then comment on how wrong we are. And I'm not going to read it, but I would love to see like lots of comments. I just always assume they're all like, you guys are awesome, you know.
This episode needs to be called "How Can We Make AEW Cool Again?" Instead of "It's Wrestling Cool Again."
I think that's what it's about to be called.
And to prove, people, you've made it this far into the podcast, one of the your comment should include something like, "I love pro wrestling." Just put "I love pro wrestling" or "I love WWE, WWE." You know, it's just like, you know. Just don't be one of those people who's like, Chris is wrong because he's got a baby face and he doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's got the freakish baby face with like hair. It's weird like that. So he's like 3 years old with a beard. It's adorable.
16.
Can you do that for me, Chris? That makes my day. That's a show, guys.
That's it. We're done.
We are done. Check out the website. No, yes, we're done.
Not done.
We're doing this again in 4 months.
There's so much wrestling to talk about still.
But do you still have the Huh? We are okay. But do you still have that website? And did you pay extra for the .com?
I did pay extra for the .com. www.iheartgeekshow.com. Use the .com. We paid extra for it. You know, on the last episode, I did not say that, and I'm kind of disappointed with myself.
Because I wasn't there.
Go to the Twitter. By the way, Kevin is the one that's doing the Twitter now, so give him crap. He loves that. Go to the Facebook. He does. Some of the pictures we send back and forth are awful. Check us out next week. I think next week I'm with Satomi and we're talking about divas and stuff. You figure out how that one works.
Oh, she's such a diva. After wrestling. She's such a diva.
So, well, we'll catch you next time. Until next time, I'm Dub. I'm here with Kevin. We're here with
my name. God. You know, you forgot my name?
I didn't. Yeah. I got
Dub,
hold on.
How long have we been friends?
Give me a second. Let me go back to that.
You forgot my name.
Give me a second. I gotta edit that. I'm Dub. I'm here with Kevin. We're here with Chris.
You forgot my name.
Keep on, guys. I'm gonna have to keep all that now.
You have to.
I kind of do. I cannot believe I brain farted your name. We have been friends for like 3 years.
Yes, I've been to your house.
I didn't forget your name. I'm just like, I couldn't get it out.
Who was this?
You have been listening to the latest episode of the iHeart Geek Show. Make sure you visit our website at www.iheartgeekshow.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you check us out on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep on geeking on to all of you geek rock stars.